Okay, so today we're diving into some serious self-discovery stuff with Ewell Juliana's Essence Through Magic.
And let me tell you, this ain't your mama's self-help book.
Oh no, this one's got it all. Temples, serpents, you name it. We're talking cosmic eggs, people.
And the best part?
Lay it on me.
We've got excerpts straight from the source, plus some seriously insightful analysis to help us unpack it all.
Music to my ears. Now, before we get lost in the symbolism, what's the core message here? What's it Juliana trying to tell us?
Wait, he throws us right into the action.
No time for dilly-dallying, huh?
None whatsoever. Juliana believes we're all on a quest for self-realization, for reaching our full potential. But here's the kicker.
Hit me.
He says, forget about waiting for life to happen, for the perfect moment to magically appear.
'Cause it never will.
Exactly. Juliana says time itself is an illusion. What we actually have control over is timing.
Whoa, okay, hold up a sec. Timing. That sounds like some next-level stuff. What does he mean by that?
He's saying we have the power to create the right timing for our goals, to seize the opportunities that align with our desires. It's about being proactive rather than reactive.
Okay, so instead of waiting for that magical someday, we need to make things happen.
You got it. Recognize those windows of opportunity when they appear because they might not stay open for long.
So how do we do that? Where do we even start?
Juliana breaks it down into 3 key actions. Create, obtain, sustain.
All right, I love a good framework. So walk me through this. What's the create phase all about?
Imagine this, a tranquil oasis in the middle of a vast, unforgiving desert.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Paint me a picture here.
At the heart of this oasis, there's a magnificent fountain.
Okay, I'm listening.
Juliana uses this fountain as a metaphor for self-reflection, for diving deep into the well of our desires. He says it acts as a mirror, reflecting our truest selves back at us.
So it's not just about wishing upon a star. This is about confronting our deepest desires, the things that truly resonate with us.
Exactly.
And once we've done that deep dive, then what? How do we actually bring those desires to life?
Well, that's where the obtain phase comes in. And it's here that things take a turn for well, let's just say a new character enters the scene.
Ooh, a new character, do tell.
A serpent.
A serpent. Okay, now we're talking. This is where things get interesting. What's the serpent's deal? Is it there to trip Juliana up, to lead him astray?
Actually, it's quite the opposite.
Really?
Oh yeah, this serpent's more of a guide.
A guide.
It encourages Juliana, pushes him to confront his fears and doubts head on.
So it's like that little voice inside all of us, right? The one that says, hey, I know this is scary, but you've got this, push through.
You nailed it. And that's the beauty of Juliana's symbolism. It's relatable. We all have those fears, those doubts. But it's about acknowledging them, facing them, and then saying, not today, fear. I'm moving forward.
He's saying we have to be willing to get a little uncomfortable, to push past those self-imposed limitations to reach our full potential. But what is that potential exactly? What are we striving for?
Well, Juliana calls it our cosmic egg. And my friend, that's a whole other can of worms, or should I say a whole other cosmic egg that we'll crack open in our next part.
Okay, so we're back, and we left off with this whole cosmic egg thing. And honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. What is this cosmic egg? Is it like some mystical object? Or more like, I don't know, a state of being? Help me out here.
Now that's the beauty of Juliana's writing, isn't it? He uses these powerful symbols, but leaves plenty of room for interpretation. It's like he's inviting us to discover our own personal meaning in them.
So how are you interpreting it? What's the cosmic egg to you?
For me, it represents the culmination of that whole create, obtain, sustain process. Like it's what we achieve when we combine those 3 actions with, that keen awareness of timing.
So it's not something we find, it's something we become.
Exactly. It's the manifestation of our truest selves, the end result of all that inner work and taking action.
So it's not about chasing some external treasure, it's about the transformation that happens within us along the way.
Right on. It's like, imagine that serpent, which represents our inner drive. Right?
Yeah, that serpent pushing us to face our fears.
Exactly. Now imagine it's carrying that cosmic egg. But it's not just going to hand it over. We have to actively journey alongside it, overcoming obstacles and growing along the way.
Okay, I like that. So the egg represents the potential we have within us, but we have to put in the work to actually unlock it.
Bingo. It's all about aligning our actions with our deepest desires. Remember how Juliana said time is an illusion? Well, I think the cosmic egg is also about realizing we have the power to shape our own timelines.
So it's not about waiting for that perfect moment to magically arrive. It's about recognizing that we create those moments through our actions.
100%. Now, there's another piece of this puzzle that I've been wrestling with.
Oh, Lay it on me.
Juliana mentions this thing called the ceremony.
The ceremony. What's that all about?
It's kind of a mystery. Even the analyses I've read seem a little stumped by it.
Ooh, intriguing.
Right. He describes it as this pivotal moment on his journey, like a culmination of everything he's learned and overcome. But the actual details, what happens during the ceremony, totally unclear. He uses these vague phrases like a union of opposing forces, merging with one's essence. It's pretty out there.
Sounds kind of like he's leading us to the edge of a cliff and then being like, all right, jump, trust me.
Yeah. But, maybe that's part of his point.
What do you mean?
Remember how much emphasis he puts on personal experience, on figuring things out for ourselves. Maybe the ceremony is something you can't fully grasp intellectually. You just have to, live it.
So it's like trying to explain the taste of a strawberry. You just got to experience it firsthand.
Exactly. And maybe that's Juliana's way of saying, hey, I can give you the map, but you got to walk the path yourself.
So we each have to create our own ceremony, whatever that looks like for us.
Exactly. And that leads us to the final piece of Juliana's metaphorical world, the temple.
Okay, so if the ceremony is this big transformative moment, what's the temple represent?
Well, I think it represents the sustain part of his framework, but it's not what you might think.
How so?
He describes it as this dynamic, ever-changing structure, full of energy and movement.
So not your typical stuffy old building, then?
Not even close. He makes it clear that everything inside is constantly shifting and evolving, just like our own growth.
And that's a really important point, isn't it? Because sometimes we can fall into the trap of thinking personal growth is linear, like we hit certain milestones and then we're done.
Right. But Juliana's saying, nope, that's not how it works. Life is about embracing the constant ebb and flow, the ups and downs, the never-ending journey of becoming. And that, my friend, is where we'll pick up in our final act.
All right, so we're back, and I gotta say, this whole temple thing has me picturing something out of an Indiana Jones movie.
Right. It's not your average temple, that's for sure.
So last time we left off with this idea that the temple represents the sustain phase of Juliana's framework. But how does that actually work? How do we sustain personal growth in a world that's constantly changing?
Well, Juliana emphasizes that the temple is never static.
Okay, so not exactly a place to kick back and relax.
Not quite. He says everything inside is always moving, always evolving, kind of like those moving staircases in Harry Potter.
So how do we even navigate that? How do we keep our balance when the ground is constantly shifting beneath us?
Well, Juliana suggests a few things. First, he emphasizes the importance of staying adaptable.
Okay, so being flexible, able to adjust to new situations.
Right. He's basically saying, look, if you cling too tightly to how you think things should be, to a fixed idea of yourself, you're going to get knocked off your feet.
So we have to be willing to let go of old patterns, old beliefs, even old versions of ourselves that no longer serve us.
Exactly. And that kind of ties into his second point.
Yeah.
Continuous learning.
So we never stop growing, never stop learning, no matter how old we get.
Exactly. Juliana believes that the moment we think we have it all figured out, the moment we close ourselves off to new information, that's when we stop truly living.
It's like that saying, a mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions.
Exactly. It's about embracing curiosity, being willing to say, I don't know it all, and approaching life as a continuous learning experience.
Because there's always something new to discover.
Always. And here's the thing. Juliana says we don't have to do it all alone.
Oh. So the temple's not just a solo mission.
Nope. He actually emphasizes the importance of connection, of finding our tribe, our people, the ones who support us, challenge us, and inspire us to become the best versions of ourselves.
It's about recognizing that while our journey might be unique, we're all in this together.
Exactly. And with that in mind, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the world of Ewell Juliana and Essence Through Magic.
It's been quite a journey, that's for sure. From confronting our deepest desires to embracing the ever-changing nature of reality, Juliana's given us a lot to chew on.
He certainly has. And remember, this isn't about achieving some final destination. It's about embracing the journey itself.
Exactly. So as you move forward, ask yourself, what does your own personal temple look like? What are you doing to sustain your growth, to embrace the unknown, and to create a life that truly aligns with your essence?